Okay, yeah. So the Peshawar, obviously they lost Sam Ayub. They also lost Mas Sadakat, who went to Hyderabad. Obviously, they have Babar and Mohammad Haris in their side, so they do have two of their top three from last year still retained. But for me, it doesn't make any sense to have had Mas Sadakat as your emerging batsman when there's a dearth of quality Pakistani young batsmen, while there is plenty of options in Pakistani emerging fast bowlers for you to retain Ali Raza over Mas Sadakat, because I think there are so many options in pace bowling. Ali Raza was unlikely to have gotten picked up by any other team in terms of retention, and you could have risked picking him up in the auction because I think he would have been available there. Mas Sadakat, once you let him go, there's no chance he was going to not get picked up by someone else. So I think, yes, like Ali Raza played for them more and he's a fantastic talent, but I think you sometimes have to be a little bit put your emotions to the side and look at like what is the best thing longer term. You can probably get like a good Ali Raza replacement, but can you get a good Mas Sadakat replacement? And they haven't really gotten like a replacement for him. Like they've gone obviously with James Wins from a foreign level. So I think in terms of like this season, maybe their batting doesn't take much of a hit, but I think long term that was something that I was disappointed by them. Considering also you've picked up Abdul Subhan, who is with Ali Raza's bowling partner in the Pakistan under-19 team. So if you have him as well, like you both of them are not going to play, so you could have picked Master Dakat and had one of them. But Chala, like they made that decision. It just a little.
Yeah, I have a slightly different take on that. Not to say you're wrong, like it's a really tough decision, bro. Ali Raza is also a very special player, right? At the end of the day, so I think it's tough. And Peshawar's problem has been the fast bowling for a while, and fast bowlers like that are worth their weight in gold as well. So I think they could have gone either way. The thing that I actually thought you'd be more upset about was them picking Babar over Saim. I thought that's something you would
I
have.
mean, I think I would have been upset over it, except I don't think they had a choice because I think Sam Ayu was apparently wanting to leave last season as well, and they sort of convinced him to stay. And I think this time there's no chance he was staying. So I think it was more their decision was easy based on the fact that Sami was going to leave. Otherwise, I think it would have been. I honestly like you just want to make these decisions on a cricketing sense, but these decisions are not just made on a cricketing sense. And I think with Babar, he's like the face of the franchise as a captain as well. Whether that's like for the right reasons or not, you can't argue. You can argue with the player he is today, but you can't argue with Babar Azam, the overall package, and also the fact that yes, last season he didn't have the best of seasons, or in fact, he didn't have a good season at all. But ultimately, he's going to be back batting where he should be batting in T20s, which is opening the batting. That's not to say I think he should be batting as an opener for Pakistan, but he should definitely not be batting at number four in any
Yeah.
T20 side. So he'll be in a team that suits his strengths more. He has Harris
I
and
think we
James
both agree
Winston.
that there's no way you can let Saimayu and Masadaka walk in the
Yeah.
same off
Okay.
season group.
I think that's more my thing. Is like, okay, if you have Sam you going, then at least try to retain Masadakat. And I
Yeah.
think you could have gotten Alireza back as well. I think if they let him go, I
Yeah.
don't think any team would have retained him because they had like Amir, Naseem Shah. There's so many options in the fast bowling ranks. There weren't many options in the top order bat rank for
Yeah.
Pakistan. So they could have probably gotten him back anyway. So I think it was a bit of a gamble that they could have taken that they chose not
That's
to.
true.
That's their team. They bought James Wins,
Yeah.
who I think will be a big miss for Karachi. He's been doing really well over the years, and so they've got him in. I think another one like Ryder,
Yeah.
so consistently performing in the PSL. So the top three is pretty sorted. It's just again Mohammad Haris, like we've talked enough about him over the years, but he needs to step up and be better overall.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say more, but
Yeah.
I think this is an
For sure.
opportunity for him with Sam gone. Um, And again, if you want to go through their team or do you want to go through their
No, let's go. Let's go through the team. I think when we go four, five, six, seven, they're probably lined up better than
yeah, it
anyone in
was
the
again not
PSL.
the easiest team to make, but at number four, I
Yeah.
couldn't see. I think initially Kusan Mendes was an option, but when I was looking at their squad, there's like 24, 25 players picked, and I don't know who is
Yeah.
not available and who is available. So I assume
I
that
just
Kusan
went.
Mendes
I
is
went
not
Aaron Hardy,
available.
bro.
Well,
Yeah. I just
if
went
Kusan
Aaron
Mendes is
Hardy.
available, he's at four. What about Aaron Hardy?
I went Aaron Hardy.
At four?
Yeah.
Okay, I had him a little lower because I wasn't sure where he batted. But
Yeah.
does he bat in middle order?
Well, for me, I think it was more so just a matter of the fact that I was going to have him in the team regardless.
Yeah.
Um, so then I kind of took it from there. But
Okay.
yeah, you can go to Shawn Mendes as well.
I think
And
Kushal
then
Mendes
that
might
was
not be
followed by
available, so that's why they picked up the Bangladeshi guy Tanzil Hassan as well, like
yeah,
recently, I think today. So
yeah,
he could be at number four, but I actually like your approach of like having Hardy be at number four. Then did you have like Ifti at five?
yeah. If the slash Bracewell in whatever order I had them,
Yeah,
and then I had
same.
Abdul Samad right after.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think I was initially thinking like to put in one of Kusam Mendes or Tanzil Hassan, but I think that makes sense, and you leave one foreigner for baseball. I think I like
Yeah,
that team better.
that's
Okay,
what I did with that.
cool. And then
I'm interested to know where Aaron Hardy bats. But yeah,
I think he's middle order, so I think you could really place him anywhere because Bracewell Lifty, I think, can also bat anywhere between like four to six.
yeah, and
So,
then yeah,
and
Abdul
Abdul
Samad
Samad
can
is there.
take
So I
number
think the
two.
good thing is about those four, like those three guys, Bracewell, and if the car gives you off spin options, and then Aaron Hardy gives you base options. So you have
Yeah,
three genuine spinner all rounders there in terms of bowling options in your top seven, basically, which is excellent. Gives you flexibility. Um, number eight, I guess you could. I don't know. Do you see Amr Jamal play?
yeah.
You do? Okay.
That's why I put him.
Okay. So yeah, Amr Jamal again,
Your
like he can
reservations on
bat and
Ahmed
he's
Jamal.
performed with the bat, but he's very, very expensive with the ball always. So I'm always hesitant to
Mhm,
put him in, but I think like
yeah.
they retain.
But he's a wicket taker as well.
So I think that could make sense. I think the only thing is I was looking at like the bowling options they have, right? Ali Raza will
Yeah,
play, Sufyan Mukim will play.
yeah.
Then you have like an off spinner in either Bracewell or FT or both of them can play and bowl. And then you have Aaron Hardy, right? So I think if you kind of already have um I was looking at what options they had. I think Khurram Shahzad is someone who like has always performed. So I was thinking like
Yeah.
he would play instead. But then Nahid Rana also performed well against Pakistan. So they do have options. I just don't know if they I think that the reason you picked Amr Jamal and why he might end up playing is because they need to have like someone who can bat a bit at number eight, otherwise their tail will become way too long. So I think that's an issue for
Mm.
them to have
Like
to
I
address.
value him as a bowler too. Like I think he's got like a big heart as
Mm.
well. So I
Yeah.
enjoy watching him play. But yeah, like look, if you're batting until seven with seven genuine batsmen and the guy you're leaving out is a much better bowler than Amr Jamal, then you should play that guy,
Yeah.
whoever it is. At the 11th spot, I have the Hani slash Nahid Rana slash Khurram Shahzad. You take your pick.
Okay.
Um, if you want extra pace, you can go with one of those guys. If you want to play two of them and take Amir Jamal out, that's also fine.
Yeah.
Um,
That makes sense. They have good emerging options also. They have Ali Raza, obviously, who will probably start. They have Abdur Subhan as a backup for him. And they have Farhan Yusuf, who was the captain of the Pakistan under
Captain is
19
awesome.
side.
Like,
So he's a middle
pretty
order
good
back.
player.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So again, another good option there. So they have, I mean, honestly, like their squad is pretty well rounded. It just like again in the pace bowling attack, which they for years they've not really had like a genuine leader almost. Like they
yeah.
always have Firm Shazad as one of their like better bowlers, but um with Ali Raza there as well, with Sufyan Mukim again like a young spinner almost. I would look for like a bit of a lack of experience there. But Firm Shazad is experienced in domestic, obviously, and at the PSL level, but you just don't look at him as someone who's like a leader of an attack almost. And so that might be something that they're missing. But they have plenty of experience throughout their side. They have Barber, they have Wins, they have Bracewell, they have Ifti. And then they have like
Dude, they
X
finished
Factor.
like second a couple of years ago on the table. Like I think they got to play the first qualifier game that gives
Yeah.
them the extra chance. And they didn't make the playoff last year. I'm wondering how did they make the playoffs 2 years ago? Because like bowling has always been an issue for a little
Yeah.
while with them. Like I'm trying to understand what route they have to take to make
Dude,
the playoffs
honestly,
because the
the
batting is
thing
really
is, the
strong.
one thing that's going to be different this year is you can't be okay and get into the playoffs. Before
Yeah,
there's six teams, you just had to not be two of the worst teams and you made it to the playoffs. Now there's eight
that's
teams. You
true.
gotta have to be good to make it to the playoffs. So I think Peshawar is the
True, man.
team that almost made the playoffs on default like every single year because they weren't bad, but they weren't like very good either. And they're gonna have to like step up. I think that's the step up that they have to take because I think they have a lot of players like Babar, like Haris, like Iftikhar, like even Bracewell was awful last year in Multan. Aaron Hardy's playing in the PSL for the first time. Abdul Samad, like he got picked for Pakistan. Obviously, like they spent a lot of money on him to retain him. is he really like delivered at that level yet? Like no. So again, there's a lot of question marks throughout their side. I think on paper, like their team is very balanced and they have really good options. But I think to make the playoffs, I think they may need a little bit more than what they have right now. Because I think overall they have all the pieces, but I don't know how it'll come together in this side.
यार इस टीम के साथ अगर like रिजवान कप्तान होता,
Mm.
it would look completely different to me, I
Yeah,
think, in terms of how the bowlers are used and stuff with the two part-timers they have, or three in the top seven.
yeah,
I'll be interested to see how Babar rotates those guys because
yeah,
they do lack a little bit of quality in overall in the even they have good options, but maybe that top level guy beside Ali Raza, talent
mm,
wise, maybe not.
mm.
Um,
Yeah.
but
I
with the
think
part timers, I think it's gonna matter because the options are there. You know,
yeah,
like they could still have like I'm counting, they have four fast bowlers, like three fast bowlers they can play. They have Mukim who's a very good option.
yeah.
It's just
I
about
think that's
having
what we've
the
criticized them a lot. I have criticized them a lot, but I think retaining Mukim was a really good decision, obviously.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
So that's solid. But yeah, I think for me, they have good players. They have a good side. They could prove me wrong because the they absolutely have the talent and the capability to do that. But just going through all these sides, I think there's better sides than them. I think they might just miss out on the playoffs unless like Babar really has an outstanding season with the bad or like Mohammad Haris, like these guys from the top order really deliver
Mm.
for them.
And you could, you know, you don't have to. Ali Raza could end up propagated with the
Yes.
Spears, right?
Mm.
Like these things are also, or Sufyan Hakim, these things are
Yeah,
also possible. So the
for
talent
sure.
is there, and they'll be fun to watch. But I can see a world, and I'm sure you can as well, in which they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
Let's
Okay,
go to our
let's
last team
round
now, bro.
off with Multan. Okay, so okay, we'll come to
Multan,
the
we need to
Multan
be in the
Sultans.
Seattle for 5 minutes.
Yeah, poor Alco fans got to be happy for a little bit. It was good to see Alco Stallions, but honestly, like I didn't want
Uh,
Alco Stallions to come in at the expense of like Multan Sultan. Technically, they didn't. They were their own franchise. I would have loved for them to have
mm,
been in there. I was a little disappointed to see like Pindi come in where Islamabad is already there.
yeah, bro.
But I mean, I understand that's
Exactly.
gonna be a good rivalry and all that, and they seem to be doing really cool stuff with their
Bro,
branding and being
rivalry
like.
to होगा मजे का. Sorry to cut you off. Like, yeah, the branding and stuff is all awesome, and the rivalry should be sick. But aren't all the Pindi boys already Islamabad United fans? Like, how does that work
But I
now for
think
people?
Islamabad United is gonna lose a lot of their fans.
You know, use all the Pindi boys now, huh?
Yeah, they're gonna lose for the Pindi boys. तो मतलब थोड़े जो इस्लामाबादी बचेंगे वही होंगे उनके fans अब.
Uh,
Um, but I'm really happy that Sultans are back. I think that was a huge blow for the PSL to lose a brand that's been established as much. So
yeah, yeah.
props to the team that's brought them back. I
True.
think that's really good effort there because I think the league needed it. They've won the PSL before. They're like, I mean, I don't know. I think they've always been like a side that's done really well. And so like to lose them would have been really bad for the league. So it's good that they've come back, but I think they might have come back. Like in generally be a team select ET. Like, I know the new owners have tried their best to like make trades and like get some new players and make some changes, but they had their work cut out for them because I think this was like one of the worst selected squads in the entire PSL.
Dude, it's the worst because they traded Salman Mirza and Ahmed Danyal, I think. Like, before that, it
I
looked
don't know,
pretty
man.
good
I
to
mean, I
me.
get what you're saying. Like maybe fair. I understand what you're trying to say because their bowling is like looking a little off right now. But I think like if you look at them even before that, like I don't know if it was the best assembled squad, like overall. And they've brought a lot of guys like Arafat Minhas and Faisal Akram who weren't there before, who like might be able to like give them some semblance, and maybe like Wasim Junior finally is able to like have like and be the leader of like an attack, which they'll need him to be
Yeah.
now. Um, so you're right, like that they do obviously miss out with Ahmed Daniel and Salman Mirza. I think losing one of them maybe they could have survived, but losing both is a bit of a blow. But I guess if they wanted
And
Junior
they
that
have a little
bad,
bit of an issue too, Shai. Like, now that I've made their team, especially with Saad Masood gone, like, bowling, they like their batting ends early, right? Like
yeah.
it'll end with like let's say Faisal Akram comes in for Saad Masood, then that means Wasim Junior is batting at 8, which is
Well,
early
I
for
think
Wasim Junior.
before we get into like the specifics, I think we need to sort of talk about who's actually in this team, right? Because like I mean,
Yeah,
Steve Smith is obviously a huge coup
that's a
for
great
the
pickup.
PSL. I think that's a fantastic talent.
Their opening is as
Obviously,
good as anybody's.
sorry.
Their opening is as good as anybody's,
Yeah,
I
so they have
think.
Steve Smith and Saibzada Farhan. Saibzada Farhan's in red hot form of the last PSL, of the World Cup. He's probably the pick of the Pakistani batsman right now. So him and Steve Smith opening up the batting. Steve Smith, who outshone Babar Azam at the Sydney Sixers, played fantastically well over there. That's a, you know, as strong of an opening combination as you'll see in the PSL. Steve Smith is someone, yes, he's a test player. He's a genuine bat, but he can sort of adjust his game to the T20 level as well. And we've seen that he's like, you know, mm, able to do that in the Big Bash. So I have no doubt that he'll be able to do that at the PSL level as well. So that's a really good opening combination. Uske alawa, like their foreign contingent is pretty underwhelming. They've captain Ashton Turner, so I think that's another thing to talk about. I think he's a really experienced captain. He's I think won the Big Bash League a couple of times, so they've gone with like someone who's like a known for his leadership experience, and I think his record as a middle order batter and off spinner sort of means that he picks himself. So I think, and that keeping that in mind, I think it's a pretty sensible call, given that you didn't have anyone who really stood out from the Pakistani contingent as like a captaincy option.
Yeah.
Um, I think, but yeah, apart from Steve Smith and Ashton Turner, their foreign contingent is a little bit like sus. Like Shamsi's been selected so many times in the PSL and he's been okay, but I would say not much more than that. Peter Siddle is like, I don't know how Peter Siddle is getting selected for the
And he's
PSL at
gonna
like
play. He's going to
2026.
play as like
And he's
a
gonna
name
play
tag
most likely.
player.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, for sure. Um, and then Josh Philippi and Lachlan Shaw are like two wicketkeeper batsmen who will probably keep because Saibzada is not like a pure wicketkeeper.
yeah,
Again, it'll be interesting to see how they play. Josh Philippi wasn't great when he played for Australia in the Pakistan series. I think he was part of
yeah,
that as well. So
yeah.
um, that'll be interesting. I think Arafat Minas is a good pickup because they'll get like left arm. Well, but they already have Nawaz, but I think like a local lad from Multan is always good to have in the squad. Um, I'm actually excited about Imran Randhawa because he has someone who's like we've heard a lot about. Like at least I've heard from the domestic level, but he's never really been picked or had a chance to shine at the PSL level. So they've picked him. So I had him
Yeah, I
in
think he
my
played for
team.
Fiji and stuff in the past.
Yeah, like but
But
barely. Like he didn't really get too much of an
yeah,
opportunity. So
he didn't play
yeah,
for
this
them.
like left Sean Masood kicking around. I don't know, dude. Their team is tough to make because like
Who do you have at three?
Josh Philippi.
Do you have Chan Masood in your team or no?
No.
I had him in my team, and I had
I mean, I could have put him in there, but I preferred to put like
wait,
some
so
like
hold on. Sean, Philippi, Ashton Turner, 3-4-5. Who are your 3-4-5?
Philippi, Minhas, Turner.
मिनास को तुम किधर खिला रहे हो bro?
4 or 5.
4 or 5. Okay.
I was like, because I
Then
feel like it'll be Zati to put him like at 7 or 8 just because he's an all rounder. So I'm like, bro, let's back him. Let's like, if your squad is not that great, why don't you back the young players and see like
that's
what they
fair.
do? So
Yeah, that's fair enough.
why not? So
Um, I had Nawaz at 6, Arafat at 7,
mm, I had Nawaz at 7 and I had Imran at 6.
Imran Randhawa.
So he might be able to give you a good option at that place, I think.
Oh, so if I'm gonna ask you about the bottom three, then I'm gonna ask you about the emerging. I have
Mhm.
Faisal Akram, Peter Siddle, Mohammad Hossein Jr. 11, 10, 9.
I had So I had Junior, yes. And then I had a question mark. So I had if you play like Peter Siddle, then you play Faisal Akram. If you play Shamsi, then you play Arshad Iqbal.
Okay,
Because you have to
that's
pick
more your
one
thing.
foreigner and one local. So if you pick the leg spinning foreign player in Shamsi, then you pick the pacer in Arshad Iqbal, who's a pacer who's played well. He's played for Karachi before. He's played, I think, for Peshawar Zalmi as well. I think he's a good PSL proven pacer. Probably gets underrated a lot in the PSL. So I like
Yeah,
Arshad
yeah, yeah.
Iqbal. He hits the deck hard. Shamsi can be like, again, a good leg spinning option. But if you prefer to play Faisal Akram, who's a left arm leg spinner from Pakistan, who was selected for the ODI series against Bangladesh as well. He didn't get a game though,
Yeah.
again.
Play him, man.
But if you play him, then you have to play Peter Siddle, I guess, because you
You could play Arshad first. Or you're saying three have to. Yeah, you have your three foreigners anyway.
yeah, I guess you could play both Arshad and Faisal Akram. But again, if they've
The
picked
bowling
Peter
side is
Siddle, they probably
flexible, right?
yeah. And then they're emerging for me is Mohammad Shahzad at number 8.
Respectfully. So he is the guy that actually I
That
like
you
that.
got
I'll
pissed
put him
off
in
at
that team.
Islamabad for. He's the guy who this you got
No,
pissed off at Islamabad
no,
because they
because
didn't
to
bowl
me
him
he
or
didn't
bat
look
him.
that good when he played, right? But at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, like he doesn't look that
उसका
good to
record
me.
अच्छा है.
But you're also batting him at number 8 when he's a
वो
top
मार
order
वार
batsman,
सकता
and you're
है.
making him bowl the last over.
Yeah.
Like, what are
No,
you
no, but he
doing,
can.
man?
That's what I'm saying. But for Multan, I think he might be good because he can bat and he
So that's
can.
what I'll say. What you said about Arafat is what I'll do with him. Like, I'll slide him higher up the order,
Okay, sorry.
and I'll keep Arafat at like 6, 7.
Okay.
Um,
So I think, like again, they have a lot of options in their team because they've picked a lot of guys who like we don't know much about. There's Athas Khan who's like this all rounder who is a big hitter lower down the order and could bowl off spin. So like they could slide him in lower down the order. They could slide in Mohammad Imran who can bowl off spin and hit a bit as well. Obviously, Sean Masood is there as a top order option. They have a left arm leg spinner in Moment Comer who's there. They have a lot of like players who no one will have heard much about. So even including us. So it'll be interesting to see like if any of those guys plays. But I think we've stuck with like the guys we kind of know a little bit about or have seen before in the PSL and the
yeah,
likes of Faisal Akram or Shad Iqbal, Mohammad Shahzad, Arafat Minhas. And so I think yeah, like again, I think the positives for these guys is they have a good opening combination in Smith and Farhan. They have young players who will hopefully get an opportunity because their squad is not very deep or like very strong in terms of big names. So they might be like a good team to watch from like a Pakistan future perspective. If you want to see the likes of Arafat Minhas, Faisal Akram, Wasim Jr., obviously, Mohammad Shahzad develop as like potential Pakistan options because we spoke about Pakistan lacking a fast bowling all rounder. Mohammad Shahzad can be that. Wasim Jr. has always
I
been
don't think
touted
he's
as
that
someone.
guy though. But yeah,
What? What do you mean?
I don't think he's that guy. But
Well, maybe not
yeah, like,
soon. Like again, like to go back to a point you made in another video is that like these guys have to perform in domestic cricket to get into the Pakistan side, but like developing them, like not to say कि आज या कल वो Pakistan team में आ जाएगा, लेकिन like maybe 4 or 5 years down the line,
yeah, say
is
about
like again an option to invest in. Same with Wasim Jr. Continuing because again he's a guy who's constantly knocking on the door, but somehow always misses out on the big tournaments. Um,
it.
so again, so they have talent. They probably just don't have the pedigree right now to be like a contender. So I think that maybe they'll set their team up well for the future. They're making some good appointments. They've got Yasser Arafat coming in as director of cricket. They seem to like be very doing interesting stuff. And for those who don't know, like I don't, did you see that interview with their owner
No,
where
I
he's
didn't.
so he was like talking about how like he wants to play a brand of cricket called like total cricket, which is like taken from Johan Cruyff, who's like the like he was the Netherlands coach and
Barca,
player, obviously.
yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
he coached Barca as well. Total football was like his philosophy in terms of like the way Netherlands approach their football, a 4-3-3, and so on and so forth. लेकिन ये cricket का podcast है तो cricket के बारे में बात करेंगे.
But
He wants to play a sort of brand of cricket where like every player is involved and giving like 100% from like ball one. So like maybe having younger players like aggressive, like playing fearless cricket is.
what does that mean,
I guess
though?
we'll see when we
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
see
that's
it.
it. That's it. I think, yeah, ultimately, bro, what I would do with this team, just getting back to that for a second, is like I'd rather play Imran. I'd go all out. Maybe I'd drop Shan Masood and
Yeah,
bro, just play Arshad Iqbal as well. Make one thing strong, make your bowling strong,
yeah.
or play Randhawa. And then yeah, bro, I think like I said earlier, like as weird as it was for Zalmi to let go of Maz and Saim, I can't believe they traded
Mm,
Salman Mirza and
yeah.
Ahmad Danyal in the same season with this as their
Right.
bench. But yeah, let's see, bro. Them,
I
I think
think
you're right. Like they should
honestly,
not
I
make the
feel like
playoffs.
they will struggle to even compete for that slot unless like, some of these young guys really step up. I think that they seem like the weakest squad on paper. Obviously, they could prove me wrong because they have a lot of guys we haven't seen a lot of. So I think that's the caveat that I'd put for Multan. So I think they're a team that if you're
Mhm.
interested in seeing new players or interested in seeing new foreign players, new local players, or players you haven't seen in a while, like Peter said, like might be a fun team to watch in terms of seeing what their approach is. So like definitely.
Yeah.
And Smudger's
And
here.
Smudger's here, bro.
Yeah,
Smudger and
actually,
Marnix are here. So there's some good
Ben
stuff going
Maxwell
on
is
in Pakistan
coming
cricket
to
too.
play. बस दुआ करो कि आईपीएल टीम को
Yeah.
कोई injuries ना हो जाए वरना ये लोग वहाँ ना भाग जाए लेकिन
Yeah.
yeah I mean the disappointing thing is obviously कि
Yeah.
there's not going to be any fans now because of the war situation and all of that. But ultimately, like needs must.
And that sucks, bro, because I was really looking forward
Faisalabad,
to see like
Peshawar.
the
Yeah, I was
Imran Khan
very excited about
Stadium.
that.
Yeah,
Hopefully next year, mm, and go from there.
inshallah.
Yeah,
All right, man. Okay, you have any predictions for the
yeah.
tournament?
I think
Who do you think
honestly,
is gonna
I think the
bowlers to watch out for?
it'll
Batters to
be
watch
interesting
out
to
for?
see how the newer teams do. Obviously, like Zapindi and Hyderabad, like what sort of flavor they bring to the side. I think it's really exciting, really good times for the PSL as a whole, expanding. Um, we now have Hyderabad Kingsmen, we have Rawalpindis, Multan Sultans are coming back. There's like new ownership, like new flavor. It would have been really exciting to see like new stadiums in Peshawar and Faisalabad. Unfortunately, due to the situation, we're not able to see that, and there won't be crowds, which is a big, big blow to PSL and a big blow to like the viewing experience. It'll obviously take away from it, but ultimately, like we have exciting players coming. We have like so Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne, even though he's not a T20 player, Chandin, one of the better players going around in the international circuit. Then you have like Maxwell. We don't know how many games he's going to come for, but he's coming. Um, and a lot of young Pakistani talent is going to get the opportunity because the fact that there's 8 teams now instead of 6. Um, and there's a lot of good talent going around. Like whatever you might see at the Pakistan level, we do have good players, and we are definitely going to see an exciting PSL. So definitely looking forward to that. I think overall, if we take a step back, I think some of the older teams, like the likes of Lahore, who have won last year, they won 3 of the last 4. I think they're going to be like one of the contenders. I think Karachi Kings are one that I think are really, really well balanced and um, I think looking like a serious contender as well. I think some of the newer teams, and I new include Multan Sultans in this because they have new ownership and new squad. I think they might have to do a little bit of catch up. It might be like too soon, but I'm very, you know, excited to hopefully see them prove me wrong in terms of that. But I think we might see one of the established teams win this season.
We'll see how it all plays out, inshallah, bro.
Anything you
All
want to
right,
add?
bro.
Predictions, players to watch out for?
Uh, I think I'll stick with the obvious ones, I guess. I'm really excited for I'll say Ahmed Danyal is one guy I'm really excited for. Um, Mas Sadagat, obviously. Um, and Ali Raza as well, bro. I hope he can. I'm really of the belief that in the limited overs formats, Pakistan are in genuine need for young blood because of वही चीज बार.
Mm.
You need something new now. So again, not to make the PSL your criteria for everything, but it can give a gauge to as well as to how guys perform and
I
after
think the
that.
players I want to see doing well are the players who have been performing in domestic or like who have obvious talents and like fill roles in the Pakistan slide that have been obvious issues, and because there's no clear replacements, we see the same guys. So like someone like Arafat Manhas taking that left arm spin bowling all rounder spot into the future for Pakistan. Someone like him, taking that opportunity. Someone like Mas Sadaka stepping up, like you said, you mentioned him as well. Um, Players who have obvious talent, but we need to see that talent like bridge the PSL level and make it to the Pakistan team as well. So I think that's what I'm excited about. But I think overall, I'm just excited about the fact that you don't have to watch Pakistan. We can watch these teams instead.